Tax season can be an annoying, boring, and confusing hassle, but now we're in luck with a game called Tax Haven 3000, the dating sim that does your taxes. Seriously, this game will actually use the information you give it and help file your federal income taxes for you. And in typical visual novel fashion, it's got a beautiful anime girl mascot named Iris. You know, like the IRS? Internal Revenue Service? Iris? Listen, I thought it was cute. Tax Haven 3000 centers around your fateful encounter with Iris as you venture to file your 2022 taxes together while slowly building a romantic connection. You're searching for deductions while looking for love. Oh, and did I mention TurboTax is probably your romantic rival? He's described as an unsavory sass bro, quick to anger and oddly fixated with Iris, with likes such as corporate lobbying, confusing forms, dark UX, and fleece vests. What a monster. It's a hilarious premise that naturally went viral. I mean, why not? They made the waifu virus memes real. She literally asks you for your social security number, to learn something personal about you. It's for love. Don't worry about it. The developers behind Tax Haven 3000 are an art collective called Mischief. And as you could probably tell by their name, this LinkedIn banner, and a few of their previous works, they're no stranger to unusual gag projects, like cologne that smells like WD-40, or the Big Fruit Loop. They also made those big dumb red Astro Boy boots that became some ironic fashion trend for a while.
Are they just like to make a statement, take a picture, and then take them off?
Look, I think there is a big thing going on with futuristic fashion, cartoonish fashion that lets us escape reality.
And this isn't their first joke game either. Back in 2021, they released something called Chair Simulator, where, as you might have guessed, you buy and sit in chairs. Revolutionary stuff, really. And look, it's Steam Deck compatible. What I'm getting at here is that these are interesting art pieces, many of which are jokes, but they still provide some social commentary, either in regards to the idea itself or how we interact with the idea. To give you an example, let's take a look at the synopsis for Tax Haven 3000, or as Mischief likes to call it, their manifesto. Corporate tax filing services like TurboTax are, by dint of extensive lobbying, predatory, parasitic bottlenecks that deliberately complicate the tax filing process in order to make it unnavigable by ordinary people. They feed us their poison so that we buy their medicine. Most wealthy countries make tax filing free if the burden of preparation is even passed along to individuals at all. TurboTax actively seeks to backdoor the regulatory structure that could otherwise seek to rein it in. And it works. The villainous corporation that controls the government from the shadows is a sadly mundane reality. It's the most boring industry imaginable. TurboTax, per its internal documents, is built on the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that ordinary people have about their taxes. Against this, we pit free software instead built on parasocial desire for intimacy and benign horniness. If TurboTax is dark UI, TH3K is pink UI, the night core of tax software. So true, bestie. But on top of calling out how our government's convoluted tax system feeds into predatory corporations, Tax Haven 3000 also shows how interactive fiction can pique our interest in mundane tasks. And with the dating sim element added in, now you get a conversation about parasocial relationships. Then on top of that, it asks if we're more comfortable divulging private information if it's being taken from us in an entertaining way. All of this happens while also trying to be practical tax software. There are some translator notes next to the word practical there, though. Tax Haven 3000 will only cover 1040 US individual income tax returns, only works if you're filing single without dependents, doesn't check for all possible deductions, and doesn't support state returns. It's mainly intended for filers with simple W-2 income. My best guess is it just pre-fills a PDF form for you based on your answers in the game. But more importantly, it has multiple endings. Your choices matter, as the kids say. Personally, I hope there's a route where you don't pay your taxes and the game calls the IRS on you. Now that would be meta. Someone should send a copy of that game to Studio Ufotable. Laugh track here, that was a funny anime joke reference, you guys understood that. Unfortunately, after Tax Haven 3000 blew up online, it was removed by Steam. Probably because of the obvious liabilities involved in hosting a game that collects your personal information, and legitimately asks you for your social security number. Mischief of course assumes TurboTax bribed Valve to take the game down. Anything to stop the next big tax filing revolution, really. They still plan to release Tax Haven 3000 on April 4th through itch.io, and even better, their website says that they plan to do a collector's edition physical release with a whole bootleg tax software box and Iris body pillows. Sadly, I already filed my taxes this year, but I'll still check out the game when it does come out, for the story at least. Mostly because I wonder how much effort they actually put into the game itself. There are a few adamant haters of Tax Haven 3000 already, because games like these are why English visual novels are usually seen as a joke, which is a much longer discussion that I doubt Mischief even knew about when starting this project. There's definitely some truth to those concerns, especially given how Japanese visual novels get far more attention than English visual novel releases here in the West. The main exceptions to this problem are a few titles which went viral for their subversion and memes. Doki Doki Literature Club cast a shadow among a lot of indie VN developers. Sure, they acknowledge how good the game was and applaud how it brought more attention to EVNs in general, but it came at the cost of expecting similar subversive narratives. And a lot of that resulted in dudes just coming out saying stuff like, "My game isn't like those other VNs, mine is actually good, ooh woo." And then it's the most generic thing you've ever seen, which never even gets finished. Where the Tax Heaven 3000 criticisms went wrong is the implication that these quirky games are the reason people don't take English visual novels seriously. The real issue is the complete lack of promoting other EVNs in comparison to all the joke releases. We'll see shit like that KFC dating sim everywhere because it's easy to laugh at a brand dating sim, even though it's just a transparently cheap, soulless advertisement. So maybe instead of just letting stuff like that go viral and shrugging our shoulders at the perception of visual novels, we should be promoting the stuff we want the medium to be recognized for. And I know for a fact we aren't struggling to find new EVNs to talk about that are good. I'm part of a community called Dev Talk, and last year I got to help them judge their Spooktober Game Jam, where I got to play cool stuff like Elevator Hitch, Parasite in Love, Girlfriend Simulator, All That Probably Glitters, and Love-Sucking Demons, just to name a few. Not to mention NaNoWriMo is happening right now, which is like the biggest annual English visual novel game jam, so there's gonna be a lot of stuff that comes out of that. And I even made my own VN a few months ago called The Winter Games. It's a Christmas comedy death game with like 6 characters in it. You can check that out on itch.io. It's free and I think it's pretty good. This review isn't biased at all. Anyways, that's all for now. Download Tax Heaven 3000 on April 4th if you're interested, but if you do play it, be careful about your personal info. Don't let the anime girls scam you. You're either getting your stuff stolen or your taxes filed. Anyways, be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, stay safe gamers, and I'll talk to you all later.